Good? Hi, Boris. Hello. Ready? Okay. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for coming out on short notice for this important announcement regarding governance in Lackawanna County. And I want to emphasize the word governance. As you know, Matt McGloin has resigned as commissioner, effective today, to pursue other interests. Matt was a great partner, and I wish him and his family all the best. The people of Lackawanna County elected Matt and me in November 2023. Upon taking office, we discovered that the county had been mismanaged for the better part of a decade. County finances were a disaster. On day one, we inherited $19 million in unpaid bills from the previous year that rolled over into 2024. County vendors were ringing the county phones off the hook, asking where their money was. On top of starting off in the whole $19 million, we also discovered a $37 million structural deficit that had accumulated because of politics and because of neglect, kicking the can down the road with no regard for the taxpayers or for their families. I ran for office to fix this mess so that things like this never happen again. Understanding the urgent need to begin to solve the county's financial woes, Commissioner McGloin and I acted immediately and instituted major financial reforms that are still unfolding, including joining the state's Strategic Management Planning Program, commissioning a top-to-bottom analysis of county finances and operations, and implementing the first of what will be a series of financial and operational reforms to stabilize county government and make it much, much more efficient. On top of the financial mess, we also inherited an Office of Youth and Family Services that was in complete disarray, which put our children at risk, and a new Department of Health that had been founded under a faulty financial premise. Commissioner McGloin and I eliminated the health department, saving county taxpayers millions of dollars per year, and asked that some of that department's professionals help revive the Office of Youth and Family Services. In less than 1 year, we restructured that office, got its full state license back, and made sure that the children and families who were being neglected got the services they deserved. So why am I saying all of that this morning? Because replacing Matt McGloin is about governance rather than politics. It's to ensure that we maintain the momentum towards reform, transparency, and governmental efficiency that Commissioner McGloin and I initiated a year ago so that we can avoid the mistakes of the past that have plagued county government for far too long. When I began to consider a replacement, I looked around the county for accomplished public officials with the independence, record, energy, and commitment necessary to carry out this crucial work. I'm proud to introduce my candidate to fill the vacancy, Dunmore Mayor Max Conway. As mayor, Max has gone beyond the rule that law prescribes for borough mayors. He is a force for Dunmore's economic development, fiscal stability, environmental well-being, government transparency, and long-term best interests. There is no time for on-the-job training, especially considering the severe financial and operational problems that we inherited. I need someone who has experience governing. I need someone who is familiar with budgets and someone who has a passion to find solutions to complex problems, and Max is the man for this job. Like me and so many others, Max is committed to raising a family here in Lackawanna County, and that guides his decision-making, which is extremely, extremely important to me. As you may be aware, the process of filling this empty seat is not in the hands of the voters. Rather, the process is controlled by the executive committee of the Lackawanna County Democratic Party. Today, I am calling on the chairman of the Democratic Party, Chris Patrick, State Senator Marty Flynn, and the executive committee to honor my selection to replace Matt McGloin. I'm hopeful that the committee will take into full consideration the fact that although they have the ability to select this person, which I completely respect, I'm the one who has to work and govern with them. Also, let me say this. We talk a lot about transparency, openness, and honesty. I became concerned yesterday when I had a conversation with the Chairman, Chris Patrick, and he informed me of two things. First, there are 31 voters 31 members of the executive committee who will decide during this process. Chairman Chris Patrick has control the ability to appoint 10 of those people. He has sole authority to appoint 10 of those people, which is his right under the Democratic Party bylaws. What I was surprised by is when Chairman Patrick told me that I would have no access to the 10 names of who those people were that he's going to appoint. I asked him for those names last week. He told me he would get them to me by Sunday. I talked to him yesterday, and he refused to give me those names. I believe that in an effort of transparency, openness, and honesty, that we should know who those 10 people are who are making such a consequential vote and what their interests are. The second thing that Chairman Patrick told me, which concerned me, was that breaking with past practice in this process, there will be no interviews at the committee meeting this Thursday. They will not interview any of the candidates who have expressed interest. Chairman Patrick informed me that he will take the resumes, get together with a small group of people, his words, and then we'll decide what resumes are discussed by the committee. So there will be no interview process, which to me doesn't make any sense at all. This appointment is for the remainder of Commissioner McGloin's term. That's 2 years and 10 months. There is an awful lot at stake here. The residents of Lackawanna County deserve an open, clear, and transparent selection process. It's time for good governance, not politics. Now, I'm proud to introduce the young, dynamic, and accomplished mayor of Dunmore, who is going to help lead this county forward, and that is Max Conway. Max?
Good afternoon, everyone. First, I want to thank Commissioner Bill Gaughan for his confidence in me and for selecting me as his pick to fill this role. I also want to thank Matt McGloin for his service to Lackawanna County. Matt made some very tough, but in my eyes, courageous decisions in his time as commissioner, and I wish him the best of luck in his new endeavor. In potentially stepping into this position, I understand the responsibility that it carries. For those who may not know much about me, I was born and raised right here in Lackawanna County and grew up in Dunmore. I'm one of 7 children, the son of Mark J. Conway and the late Molly Maloney Conway, who we sadly lost to colon cancer back in 2014. My wife, Allie, and I met at Temple University, and in true Northeastern PA fashion, I met a girl from South Jersey only after she was randomly paired with friends of mine from Dunmore. Today, we're raising our daughter, Molly, who you may have seen, in the same county that gave me so many opportunities. And yes, for those wondering, I can confirm we have a decent-sized coat closet at home. My roots here run deep, and my commitment to this community is personal. Over the last few years as mayor of Dunmore, which is the county's second-largest municipality, I've had the privilege of working alongside some incredible residents, business owners, and community leaders. Together, we've made real progress, working to revitalize downtown Dunmore. We're fighting blight, we're supporting our businesses, and we're improving public safety. We've attracted investments, strengthened connections, and we've tackled tough challenges like balancing public safety needs with limited resources. I'm proud of what we've achieved, but I also see the opportunity to potentially do more at a county level. Lackawanna County's potential is tremendous. What we've started in Dunmore, putting plans in place for a vibrant downtown, supporting our businesses, and investing in our roads and infrastructure, are the same priorities I would bring to county government. I believe in responsible budgeting that delivers services without overburdening our taxpayers, and I believe in partnerships because real progress happens when we all work together. In addition to those priorities, I'll bring the same principles of accessibility and transparency that I try to bring every day to the Dunmore Mayor's office. Importantly, I believe Lackawanna County deserves an independent voice who listens to the concerns of residents and makes decisions based on what's best for the entire county, not based on political interests. I'll be that voice, committed to transparency, accountability, and practical solutions that put our people first. I don't care where good ideas come from. It could be from the left or from the right. If it's something that will better our community, I'm all in. I also believe that leadership means showing up not just in good times, but when tough decisions need to be made. I think of my daughter, Molly, and the community we want to raise her. And as Harry Truman said, and going back to, I guess, my Dunmore roots, the buck stops here. We have a real opportunity to turn things around. Commissioner Gaughan is rebuilding a foundation that's been damaged, and I'd be honored to help him on this mission. I want to close by saying this. I understand the process from here on out is complicated, but no one on planet Earth understands the needs of this county more than Commissioner Gaughan. Commissioner Gaughan deserves to have a say in who he thinks should help him lead Lackawanna County forward. I'm honored that he chose me, and I know I can do the best job for the citizens of Lackawanna County. Thank you.
Does anybody from the press have any questions?
Yeah, what was your process for picking him?
I vetted several people after I heard the news that,
How many is several?
huh?
How many is several?
Four people I talked to. Max was by far the most qualified candidate in my view, who could come in and hit the ground running. I was looking for somebody with governing experience, as I stated before, because I think that's really important, especially in light of all the things that we have going on and all the challenges that we face.
Max, Dunmore is the largest borough, but it's still, 15,000 people versus 230,000. What makes you
Correct.
think you're qualified to, help govern a county this large?
Yeah, so in the past 3 years, and you're right, Lackawanna County is significantly bigger than Dunmore, but I do think it gives me, a strong backbone on how to work with people. Even though Dunmore is a small town, there's a lot of big personalities in there, and I understand, working with people is a big part of this job, and I think that my experience working with people in Dunmore is going to translate to, the Lackawanna County.
Can you talk about your background, like what you do for a living?
Yeah, I'm in real estate in my career. The Dunmore mayor job is borderline volunteer, but I treat it as a full-time job as well. But I work in real estate, have investment properties and things like that. I'm also in the process of getting my appraiser's license, which is a really long process, but I'm working with several appraisers right now in the residential and commercial space.
Billy, you said that this should not be a political process to fill this vacancy, but it sounds like you have concerns that it's going to be inherently political and motivated by politics. Can you speak to that at all and how you could head that off?
Yeah, I think, the members of the press, I think, in public can help me with that in demanding from the chairman of the Democratic Party and State Senator Marty Flynn, who are those 10 people that Chris Patrick has control in appointing. We want to know what the names are, because that's fair and open. And we also believe that in order to give the full committee an idea of who, let them decide who the most qualified person is, even outside of what my recommendation is, that they interview these people. I mean, on what planet would anyone, even if you are a businessman and you're hiring people in a company, would you not bring people in and interview them face to face? You can't find anything out just by looking at a resume. So I think that's really important. And as long as it's done in an open and transparent process, I will be okay with whatever decision they make. And I would hope that they would take Max into account here, because I'm the one that's going to have to be working with this person.
Just understanding how the bylaws work, those 10 people would be the 10 of the 31 members of the committee who would actually be empowered to submit this list of 3 potential names to the judges.
Correct. So it's the executive officers in the Lackawanna County Democratic Party. It's the chair and the first vice chair of each legislative district. And then Carbondale chair gets a vote. Dunmore chair gets a vote. I believe they select 3 members from the state committee. Chris Patrick has the ability to select 3 out of the 6. And then these 10 people who we don't know who they are will also have a vote.
So you have a pretty good idea who the other 21 are?
Yeah, that's listed on the county's website, the Democratic Party's website.
So just to be clear, Chris Patrick promised to give you these 10 mystery names.
Yes, earlier in the week, I said, because obviously I've been talking to the executive committee members along with Max and saying, look, all we're asking for is that you take Max into consideration when you're making your vote, and we respect the process and respect whatever decision you make, because we know that it's in your hands. But I asked Chris Patrick point blank, these 10 names, who are they? I'll get them to you. I'll get them to you by Sunday. I was with him up in Archibald yesterday and asked him, do you have a list of those names? I'm not giving them to you. So what does that tell you about the process?
What was your response to
He was standing right next to me. I think we were both surprised and a little bit taken off guard, to be honest with you. I mean, look, no explanation, no. Just I'm not giving them to you. And then also we asked about, okay, that's bizarre, but what is the process then in terms of the interviews? Like, does each candidate have to come in, as has been past practice? No, we're not doing interviews. I'm gonna look at the resumes, and then I'm gonna take those resumes, pick out which ones I like the best, and we'll discuss it as a full committee. Then I asked him, how is the vote taken? Is it taken by ballot? No, everybody's just gonna raise their hands. So the process really isn't clear to me. And again, all we're asking for, and I think the public deserves, openness, transparency, and honesty. We expect that, everybody expects that from public officials. We should expect that just as well from the party officials as well.
Mayor, are you going to plan to seek another term if you're chosen in 2027? Will you run for re-election?
I mean, I'd like to get in here and see what we're dealing with, but I would like to, yeah.
So one more point of clarity. So is it your understanding that all 31 members of the committee will have a say in formulating that list of 3 names? And the issue now is that there are 10 members of those 31 who you aren't aware of who they are?
It's not clear to me. I don't know. I also,
You don't know who those 10 names are?
yeah, I don't know who the 10 names are. And also, I'm not clear, I know in the past they've used proxies, so people wouldn't show up to the meeting and they would just give Chris Patrick their proxy. I'm not sure if that is on the table here either.
Are you saying that these 10 people will essentially make the decision?
Depending on how the vote goes, they would have a huge say in it, yes.
So they could override essentially what the other 21 vote for? I'm trying to get this. So let's say the 31 people vote, right?
Mhm.
They're a third of it.
Right, correct.
So they can't override. So let's say it's extremely unlikely, but let's say the other party of the committee votes one way, the mystery 10 can't change.
No, I don't believe so. It's a as far as I know, it's a majority vote. But again, the process and the way they do this is still a little bit murky.
But they could if the vote's close, if it's more than, if he has all 10, going his way. And
Correct.
The margin is 9, you lose.
Correct. And again, let me just be very clear. I understand the process. I understand the bylaws. All I'm asking for is openness, transparency, and honesty. I want Max Conway's name to be one of the 3 that goes over to the Court of Common Pleas, and then let them make the decision, like has been done in the past. The only thing we're asking for is, who are these 10 people? How do they get picked? What are their interests? That is totally fair, especially for a sitting county commissioner to ask that question and be told, you can't have that. You can't have access to that information. What, are we living in the Kremlin now, or are we in the United States? I thought we lived in the United States of America, not Russia.
Well, it seems like the definition of backroom politics.
It would seem that way if that's the way that this ends up. Correct. Jack?
Question for Max. I know you recently announced your re-election campaign for Mayor of Dunmore. With this happening right now, is that kind of on pause for the moment?
Well, I don't think anybody expected this to happen with Commissioner McGloin. Obviously, Dunmore is incredibly important to me, but I see an opportunity here to do more at a bigger level where I can help more people. And obviously, I love this county. So for now, yeah, depending on how this goes, I'd have to play out things in Dunmore at that point. Thanks.
One more question, Bill. Obviously, and you spoke to it, it's a consequential time for the county. You're now tasked with seeing through some of these initiatives that you and Commissioner McGloin undertook in your first year. Are you concerned at all that whoever gets this appointment, depending on who it is going to potentially hamstring you from seeing through some of that work in terms of turning around the county finances, continuing to bolster OIFS, et cetera, implementing reassessment? Can you speak to that?
The stakes are very high, as I've said. There are consequential decisions that will take place over the course of the next 2 years. So I am concerned if it's not done in an open, transparent, and honest way. If it's done in an open, transparent, and honest way, I can work with just about anybody. Don't forget, I'm the biggest Notre Dame fan on the planet. Matt McGloin went to Penn State. We made it work over the last year and a half. So I think I've proven that I can work with just about anybody, and I will, because this isn't about me, it's not about Max Conway, it's about the people of this county. And to be quite honest with you, the decisions that we had to make when I first took office were gut-wrenching to me. I have 5 little children. I have 2 parents who are senior citizens. I don't take anything lightly that we've had to do over the course of the last year and a half. But it's important to me who sits next to me, because it has to be a partnership. I will work with anyone, but it better be done in an open, honest, and transparent way. And that is up to Chris Patrick and our state senator, Marty Flynn.
The chairman has said that he's concerned about making sure the Democratic Party holds on to the majority of the commissioner's offices in 2027. Are you concerned about that at all?
No, I mean, right now, I'm focused on turning this county around financially. Don't forget, when we took office, we had $19 million in unpaid bills. We had vendors ringing the phones off the hook. We had a place that was terribly mismanaged financially. The can was kicked down the road so far that when we took over, there was no more road left. So the last thing on my mind is the election coming up in 2.5 years. I'm focused on the day-to-day governing here in this county, because one of the reasons why we are in this position is because everyone was focused on, how do I get reelected? What do I have to do to get reelected? That's the last thing that I'm worried about right now. There's too much at stake here, so I have my eye on day-to-day governing.
Bill, you mentioned Senator Flynn's name a few times here today. Can you kind of speak to his role in this process?
Well, I believe the chairman, Chris Patrick, made it very clear that Marty Flynn is going to have a big say in this. So I have all the respect in the world for State Senator Marty Flynn. I would hope that as a Democratic state senator, that he would want an open, honest, and transparent process, and this isn't going to be some backroom deal that gets railroaded through the committee. So you'd have to ask him what he thinks of the process, but I can't imagine that a sitting state senator would agree with the chairman of the Democratic Party refusing to give the 10 names of people who will take this consequential vote. I would find that very hard to believe, but you'd have to ask him.
And have you spoken to Senator Flynn yet about this?
I have, yes, and I've asked him. But ultimately, it's up to Chris Patrick on whether he gives these names and interviews the candidates, which is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard of.
What did he say?
What's it?
Agree with you?
He didn't say either way. He just kind of shrugged his shoulders. Anybody else from the press?
The committee has 5 days from today to submit those 3 names.
Yeah, so we expect the vote to be taken on Thursday. I don't know the location of the vote yet. And then they will send the 3 names forward to the Court of Common Pleas, and then the Court of Common Pleas has a period of time in which they'll choose who they feel is the best person to be the commissioner. Okay. Anyone else from the press? Okay. Thank you, everyone.